Now I'm going to stitch the body. That's my piece with the tail and the darts. I'm going to stitch that and my bottom piece together. So I'm going to place the body right sides up, and the tail I want to just make sure is tucked away so it's in the middle. And then it says to put these right sides together. It says matching centers. So what that means is this center seam. So you have the seam here where that the tail's in, and this seam. So I'm going to line those up. I'll put them one right on top of the other. You can see how they're lining up there. And then I'll make sure my seam allowances are staying open so it doesn't get too bulky. You have notches here that you'll line up. So I have my blue mark for this one that I accidentally cut off and my notch here. And then I will line those up as well as the top edge. Line up the other side the same way, matching up your notches and the top edge. Then I'll continue to line up these raw edges, making sure that they are even and aligned, and I'll use clips to attach them. This edge up here is where I'm going to be sewing on the head, so at this point I'm not clipping any of this side at all. That's going to stay open. Now that I have these edges clipped, or you can use pins to attach it, so I have these together, I'm ready to go to my sewing machine and stitch it with a 5/8 inch seam allowance. As I'm sewing, I have, again, a curved seam here. I have lots of layers. I just want to, with the tail and the seam allowances here, I just want to make sure everything is nice and flat as I sew over it. So take your time to stitch this nicely. This is going to be the main body shape of your plushie, so you want to make sure it comes together well. Here I'm getting my seam allowances lined up. I may have to stop and adjust to make sure the seam allowances stay open. Again, as long as your needle's down in the fabric, it's fine to lift the presser foot. And then again, working around the tail here, making sure everything's being sewn smoothly. Again, I want to inspect my seam to make sure that there's no tucks, that my seam allowance lays smooth. As I'm looking here, I can see that got a little funky. In hindsight, as I was sewing this, I had this side up. I think if I were to do it again, I might have actually done it with the body side up with the darts, because then I think gravity would have been on my side more with the tail. So this part that got a little bit uneven, I will probably go back and fix. The way to also know if it's worth fixing is if you look on the right side and see how does it look. If I don't see any tucks or problems on the right side of my fabric, then I probably wouldn't worry about it. And mine actually looks fine. So I will move on to pressing this seam. Next, I'll press this seam open, just like all of my seams. I will use the tailor's ham here because this is quite shaped or curved. And then I have this opening that I can just slide it in. And then I will press this open, working my way all the way around. It will take a little bit of time. Again, pressing matters and makes your project more professional. And this will help our seams lay more smoothly once we turn it right side out.